Hi everyone, it's Deb here from Deb Web Art, and today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and I know this is a weird favorite subject, but it's about fear. And the reason I say it's my favorite subject is because from a very early age I had a huge amount of fear. And so what happened was it controls you because it is when you fear something, it can be used by others to manipulate you, but it controls you. Okay, it was only until I'd had my third child and one was wondering one day why she was so fearful that I realized she was getting it was as if she's an empath, so it was as if she was getting her fears from me. And then I knew that I needed to change myself in order to move forward. So it's very interesting. So that's why I really enjoy this topic, because it I've seen and I've felt how controlled I was because of it. So let's look at an example. So for example, when I was about 38, I was told that I would be in a wheelchair by the age of 45. And when this happens, you immediately go into fear. Of course, I was then told, well, that's if you take this, you should be able to get better. Now, there's no guarantees in any of these things, and naturally my body, when I start taking any kind of medications, or it can be vitamins, it can be anything, if there's something in it that my body doesn't agree with, my body tells me, right? So of course there was stuff in this particular medication that didn't agree with me, and so it sent me on a very painful cycle. Anyway, and then the one day I decided, no, just no, I'm not going to be doing that anymore. And so I stopped taking the tablets and I started working on my mind. And it is interesting because when you have a fear of something, you allow it to control you. So the fear that I had was being in a wheelchair, and I was, sure, lots of people do it, but it's still a fear. So for me, that fear controlled me, and it made me try and push through and have things that I thought would be helping me to stay out of the wheelchair. It turns out that it's very much about what your mind is deciding is the thing. And of course, the fear of it was controlling me. So the minute you start to pull away from those fears, you start to lose the ability to be manipulated. You start to see through things. And so whenever there has been anything that people have said, if you've got any kind of autoimmune disease or anything like that, I've got osteoarthritis. So they say. When you are diagnosed with something and they then prescribe you some things, and for me, I have always said, no, that's fine, thanks. Because I just know that in my body, it's not going to go well. However, if I stayed in that fear state and was like, oh gosh, I'd better do what they say, because oh my goodness, this is what's going to happen. Because what can happen when you operate from fear is you hear the words that the doctor or whoever it is who's treating you saying, and you immediately think, well, that's truth, and that's what's going to happen, and so then I need to take this in order to get through it, not realizing that there is fear in you, and so you're allowing yourself to be manipulated into doing something. Now, I'm not saying that that you just ditch everything, not at all, but for me, this is my way of working through how fear controlled me and how I was able to move past this. So when you are, well, for me, when I was prescribed something and it didn't work, it made me stop and go, no, hang on, there's got to be another way. And when you start doing that, you take yourself out of the fear mode and you look for other solutions. But when you're looking for other solutions, you are taking yourself away from fear, which means that you can no longer be manipulated with, but this could happen if you do this, or this could happen if you do that. So it's about taking yourself out of that, so you can no longer be controlled by that fear narrative. Okay, so it's a very big thing, and it's something that you have to work on for yourself. It's a very individual thing. So some people who have that strong fear of a certain thing, you also need to ask yourself, what is this thing that I'm so fearful of? Are there other ways around it? Why am I reacting to this with so much fear? Is there a lot of narrative around it? Is there a lot of stuff coming from other directions that are making you more fearful? Because if that's the case, well, turn away from those things that are making you fearful and start making your own path. Because also the other thing you need to remember is that worry is a form of prayer. So when you are, and I'm going to repeat that, worry is a form of prayer. So when you are in a state of worry, you're putting it out there that that's what you want, that's what you're attracting. So I think the lesson to learn here, there's so much to talk about when you talk about fear and manipulation, because it's a massive topic. But the lesson to learn here is to open your eyes, to just see, to sit with it. Notice, where in my life am I fearful? Where in my life do I potentially take advice without really thinking things through? Ask yourself these questions and start mulling over what you are getting and whether you're wanting to change that. Because by stepping further away from fear, you step more into your strength and more into yourself and your truth. Because fear is not the true you. It's a place that you've created that is allowing you manipulation. It's allowing other things or people or incidences to control you, as opposed to you standing in your own truth and your own power and saying, no, I will decide what I allow in my life and what I allow going forward. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to pop in and say, let's think about this. Let's think about any fears that you have, because wherever you have fears, that has the potential to manipulate you. Wherever you have fears, that also has the potential to draw something to you. So let's stop today and think about that. Anyway, I just wanted to pop in and talk a little bit about fear. I do hope you have a good day, and maybe think about this going forward, and how you can change your life by just making a few shifts to the left. Bring about more power to you. Take care. Until next time.